My name is Tammy Yulch. I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 11, degenerative disc disease when I was 18, and I spent a lot of time in and out of chiropractors before. None of them really made a difference. It was one of those things where I would go get adjusted and I felt great, but within the first 30 minutes afterwards, I was right back where I was. I've tried again, probably 7 or 8 different chiropractors in the area, but nothing really seemed to help. Even did physical therapy, and everything they gave me was a Pilates exercise, which I've been teaching Pilates for 25 years. So none of that really helped. And then when I heard about the ScoliBrace and came to Dr. Ju, it was a game changer. I could tell that your approach was very different. It wasn't just about adjustments, but it was actually about doing movement patterns to help actually improve the quality of my movements, to help minimize the pain. And that pain seemed to subside for a much longer time period before anything would flare up again. So it just felt different every time I came. So a lot of issues were happening with my health. My back was constantly in pain. I was having migraines all the time. My hips were bothering me. I did have a previous hip replacement about 4 years ago. But again, headaches, I had high blood pressure, and I just knew that so many of those issues were because of my scoliosis and all the other issues that I had. My quality of life has been definitely affected. I lead a very active lifestyle. I'm a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. So I'm very physically active, and a lot of times my back pain would be very debilitating to the point where I really couldn't work out like I wanted to or just move without pain. So it gets really frustrating when you're trying to emulate being healthy and moving your body, and here you are moving with pain when you're grimacing all the time. So it was, it got to be a point where something needed to be done so that I could have a higher quality of life as I got older. So when I first came into Dr. Ju's office, I actually was very excited because I'm not somebody who wanted to do the basic therapies that I've done before. Yes, I've been adjusted with an agitator and tables, but when I walked in and saw the different pieces of equipment that were in his office, I got very excited because I love what I call toys or, apparatuses that are definitely going to change and make an impact. And just from the first visit of how in depth you were with talking to me about my concerns and issues and pain levels and what your prognosis was and what you thought we should do. And then the therapies that you had me do the very first day, I walked out of here going, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is the guy that's going to make a difference in my life. So what makes Ju Chiropractic unique and different is, like I said just before, the attention to your issues and concerns. And even if it's not something directly related to your main pain level that you came here for, if there's other little things that happen to your body, Dr. Ju is always ready and willing to try to make you feel better. So he doesn't just address the main issues, but it's all the other little underlying things that happen to our bodies just in our ordinary everyday life. So I always know that no matter how bad I feel, that means I need to come here even more so because I'm going to walk out here feeling like $1,000,000. So again, just the therapies and the suggestions for how to move your body. If there's issues, you always feel like you walk home with some homework that you know is going to help you, and you feel like you're going to pass with flying colors. So my daily routine has definitely changed since I've been with Dr. Ju. There's therapies and homeworks that I work on at home. The Scoli rolls is number one of them. So I spend a lot of time working on not only just correcting the curvatures that I have in my spine, but hopefully to maintain those improvements, which I think is huge. The ScoliBrace has been obviously a huge thing. I name her Jackie. I call her Jackie because she kind of jacks you up, but in a good way. And she's too pretty to be called Jack, so we call her Jackie. So I spend a lot of time in Jackie as much as I can, despite my very physical activity level that I have throughout my day, but I sleep in her and she's with me when I'm working on the computer or I'm walking around the house or I go for walks. So it's definitely a bit more intentional movements and therapies that I do at home. But I also know that with this continued homework and the consistency of it, consistency is the key, that you do see improvements in your posture and whatever ailments that you do have. So wearing the brace, I will admit that first day that I had to wear it for even an hour, I thought I was going to crawl out of my own skin. It was very hard to wear it because it was very uncomfortable. it's pushing your body in different positions. It's, I always tell people that you almost feel like you're wearing, like somebody's got a 2x4 shoved up into your armpit and they're trying to pick you up. So it's not comfortable when you first wear it. And it was a lot of, mindset and really, remember why I'm wearing this. And the more that you wear it, the easier it does get. I won't say that I'm like, oh yay, I get to wear a Jackie every day and, for X amount of hours. However, I don't mind wearing her because I know the benefits that I do get from her. And because of that, again, that why, it kind of keeps you motivated. And now half the time, I put her on and it's like second skin. Obviously there's, that you're wearing her, but it's not as uncomfortable. It's just because, it's just, mobile or stabilizing you a little bit more. You can't move as freely as you were without it, but you feel so much better. Yes. My quality of life has definitely improved. I definitely feel like I am able to move better. I sleep better. I wake up feeling good. I don't have all the aches and pains. My migraines that I used to have pretty much on at least 3 to 4 times a month, I'm now maybe getting like once every 3 to 4 months, which is wonderful. My back pain has been really very minimal unless just some kind of freak little accident happens or a strange movement pattern. But I do know that I spend a lot of time sleeping in Jackie, and I call it like a little warm cocoon, and that it makes me feel safe when I'm sleeping and you don't end up in all those strange positions when you're sleeping and you wake up, in that pain. So just waking up feeling good every day is a godsend. So when I first started wearing the ScoliBrace, you started out like an hour a day and you kind of built up to that, or keep going up as much as you can. There for a while, I was actually doing about 16 to 18 hours of the ScoliBrace. My lifestyle's kind of got a little bit busier, so I may not do as many hours, but I do sleep in it every night and whatever I can during the day, which, anywhere between 8 to 12 hours total on any given day. But maintaining the improvements that I've had has been really great. As much as I would love to wear it more, you do what you can, and you kind of go from there. I'm very thankful to Dr. Ju for everything that he's done, and to Mike, his assistant. While I know I'll never be back to 100% and scoliosis free, all the other conditions I have, like the degenerative disc disease and just the main curvatures that I've had, they have diminished. And knowing that even as I've gone older in age, that they're still able to make improvements, like you're not too old to get better. That to me is just a very reassuring mindset. And you put in the work and great things will happen. Words of wisdom is number one, don't be afraid to go seek help. If you are in pain, do not suffer in pain. There's always something out there that can be done. You just have to find the right person that's going to help you. And I found one thing with Dr. Ju is that's different from all the other chiropractors I went to go see. I would always go in there, you're in and out of there in 5 to 10 minutes and it's, see you next time. Whereas here, he truly listens to you and he takes his time to understand how you're feeling, your movement patterns, and really tries to help in any way that he possibly can to find you, in less pain and to get you there. So, even if you think you've tried everything, unless you've tried Dr. Ju, you